Now, earlier today, CPJ did an online seminar about press freedom in the wake of this news that Don Lemon and Georgia Fort had been arrested by federal authorities. What else are you and your colleagues doing right now, and what do the coming days and weeks look like for your work?
Yeah, I think we are trying to help journalists in a variety of different ways. Part of this is making sure journalists have the safety guidance they need, the legal resources they need, and kind of connecting the dots there, as well as talking with reporters about mental health and kind of the aftercare of going out and covering these very difficult topics. And yeah, and I think that there is a very important role to be played by naming a problem and advocating for things to change, right? So frequently, if we don't call something out and don't point to ways that we can actually change and build bridges, perhaps also with non-traditional partners, um, change doesn't happen. It doesn't occur because people will be siloed. And I think that's our role as the Committee to Protect Journalists is to really help people understand the bigger picture of what's going on and also what could be lost if freedom of the press is not upheld.
You make an interesting point there about change. And some of the critiques of Lemon's reporting that I have heard is that he has strayed, or at least in some of those videos, strayed from neutral observer to advocate. What is your response to that criticism? And is he still protected by the First Amendment if, in a moment of reporting, he asks questions that sound like it could be from another protester?
The First Amendment protects the freedom of speech, point blank, as well as freedom of the press, right? And so there's a great degree of wiggle room there when someone is going out and reporting, right? Um, yeah.
Any other thoughts or anything else that you want the Forbes audience to know as this issue unfolds? Obviously, this news is still fresh, and I'm sure there will be updates over the coming hours and days, and if not weeks. But is there anything we haven't covered that you think is important for people to keep in mind as they follow this story?
Yeah, I just want to remind people that they have agency in this, right? The federal government is working for the American people, and sometimes we forget that. And I think it's really important to reflect on what we want our communities to look like and what we want our federal government to be doing for us. And is going after two journalists useful? Is that furthering conversation, or is that obfuscating what is going on in certain situations and detracting from other narratives that we're currently seeing in the US? And so I think that's really the important thing that people need to remember is seeing the forest through the trees and seeing who benefits from the suppression of speech and attacks on journalists.
Katherine Jacobsen, Program Director at the Committee to Protect Journalists, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your insights, and we thank CPJ, as always, for their work.
Thanks for having me.